Hey everybody, it's Snez here and Merry Christmas. I hope you've had a wonderful time with your family and enjoying this really hot weather. It's been quite hot over the last couple of days and at home we've been keeping cool by the pool and just enjoying some downtime. I wanted to share something with you today. A couple of days ago I received some training. I'm linked in with a success coach called Brendan Bouchard, so you may have heard of him, and he sent through this fabulous training. I'm part of his monthly membership group, and he sent through this fabulous training about ending off the year on a fabulous note and setting yourself up for 2019. And it was more of a business related workshop, but I wanted to take some of those principles and share them with you and overlay them on your health and fitness goals. And what really stood out for me that was quite powerful in doing the work through the steps that Brendan was recommending was really acknowledging and seeing how far we've come. So I've put together 3 steps for you to go through and 3 activities in this quick workshop today that will not only close out 2018, really leave you feeling good about what you have achieved thus far. Because what I find, I have clients who will come and see me in regular assessments every 6 to 8 weeks, and we will track the changes. And it isn't until 2 or 3 or 4, 5, 6 months down the track that I can look back at their original notes and reflect back to them what they were telling me when they first started. But if I were to ask this member how much they've improved, they wouldn't be able to tell me. And that's like with so many of us. We can share exactly what we didn't achieve in 2018 and where we stuffed it up and what we quite didn't get to. And I know, because I tell you, in my own reflection of my business performance in 2018, there were so many things that I felt short of. But in doing the workshop and the exercises and reflecting on my year, I've been able to really pat myself on the back and acknowledge how far I have come. So work with me here. I'm going to take you through 3 questions or 3 steps that I'd love for you to answer before the first day of 2019. So I'll give you a second, take out pen and paper and get yourself ready in a nice quiet place. Try and find some time away, move to a different tent if you're away camping, or move to a different room, get the kids looked after. It'll only take you about 20 minutes to half an hour, but it really is worth doing this activity so that you can leave 2018 acknowledging how much you've improved, setting the intention for 2019, and really finishing off the year on a high. Oftentimes what we can do instead is find ourselves at the start of a brand new year thinking about all the things that we didn't achieve and then setting our 2019 resolutions or changes that we want to make, and we're coming from a place of not having succeeded. What I want you to do this year is do something a little bit different, end the year on a fantastic high, feeling really good about yourself, acknowledging all the changes that you have made, because I can guarantee you've made them this year. And then starting off with that mindset and feeling of success entering 2019, which really is a much better way to start the year off. So let's dive into it. Make sure you have pen and paper. Feel free to pause the video and actually take the time to do the exercises and answer the questions as we go along. Okay, so we're going to go into the first exercise and answer the following questions. So I want you to think about what are the 3 things in 4 different areas of your life and about you that you discovered about yourself and that you learned and you improved on in 2018. So firstly, I want you to start with, what did you discover about yourself? What 3 big things did you discover about yourself with maybe experiences that you've been through in 2018, maybe some hardship, maybe you broke through, maybe you were brave and courageous and started a new project. Something that you discovered about who you are as a person and how you grew in 2018. So it's not necessarily how much weight you lost and that sort of thing. We will get into those health and fitness and lifestyle goals in a tick. But I just want you to reflect on What are the aha moments that you had about yourself? Where was there times that you achieved something, that you surprised yourself with a certain strength or resilience? Did you help someone along the way, or did you contribute in a way at work or in your local community as a volunteer? What were some of the things that you were proud of in 2018 that you discovered about who you are as a person? So take the time, as I said, pause the video and write those things down. The second area that I want you to write 3 things that you discovered about yourself is about the exercise side of things. So what did you discover about yourself through your exercise experience in 2018? Did you discover that you were fitter than what you thought? Did you discover that you could do more than you could ever have possibly imagined? Did you discover how quickly the body responds and how many improvements you can actually make? Did you discover that yoga was the thing for you? Or did you discover that you love swimming? Or did you discover that you love to run? What was it about your exercise experiences and your workouts and your training that you put in that you were really proud about yourself and that you discovered about yourself? So area number 3 is, what did you discover about yourself in relation to your nutrition habits and your healthy eating? And this may be a discovery that, an area that you may need to improve on. You might have discovered that, hey, sticking to calorie counting just isn't my thing, and I'm giving that away in 2018. You may have found that you actually enjoy the taste of certain foods, and you may have discovered that you love cooking. And what was it about your healthy eating and just cooking and food preparation? Did you discover that maybe, I don't know, you've got a passion for learning more about food and nutrition? So what was it that you discovered about healthy eating in 2018? Write those down. And the 4th area is, what did you discover about your healthy lifestyle habits? What improvements did you make in these areas? So when we're talking about healthy lifestyle habits, we're talking about self-care. We're talking about getting enough sleep. We're talking about drinking enough water. We're talking about taking some time out for yourself, making sure that you stop when you've had enough food, responding to your hunger, all those things that I'm continuously talking about. Did you discover that you quite enjoyed catching up with friends and going for a walk rather than sitting down having coffee and cake? What was it that you did in 2018 that improved your healthy lifestyle that you can congratulate yourself on and that you can acknowledge for yourself? So write that down as well. The 4 areas are, what did you discover about who you are as a person in 2018? What did you discover about your exercise and your workouts? What did you like? What didn't you like? What did you enjoy? What inspired you about yourself? What did you discover about your healthy eating habits and generally about food and your relationship with food and some of the advancements you've made? And what things, number 4, did you discover about your healthy lifestyle habits and what improvements did you make? So in answering in these 4 areas, it really is an acknowledgement of how far you have come. And cast your mind back before you started with Sentience Personal Training, or before you started on a health kick, or before you started working out. What sorts of things were you telling yourself about yourself? What sorts of things were you saying to yourself? How were you feeling back then? What sort of headaches were you getting? What sort of back pain were you getting? In terms of your healthy relationship with food, how often were you binging? How often were you driving through the drive-thrus? It really is amazing how we make all these improvements, and even though we haven't reached the ultimate dream weight, we kind of discount all of this stuff and we leave ourselves feeling bad about ourselves, like we didn't really do a good enough job. And I know that you did a great job because you've had 12 months of working on yourself, and I also know that we don't acknowledge each other enough. So you've definitely made improvements. Write them down and see them in black and white. So that's step 1. Moving on to step 2. Next step is about writing down 3 things or 3 events that happened in 2018, or 3 targets you didn't miss, or goals you didn't achieve, and forgiving yourself about them. So forgiveness is a really important part of the process of change, because oftentimes when we do make changes, or we're trying to improve in an area in our lives, which basically means learning new skills, practicing new ways of doing things, and change in and of itself, we inevitably will muck it up. But what I do see, not only within my personal life, but with the members that I work with, is we're so hard on ourselves. And the process of forgiveness is acknowledging that we stuffed it up, and not having to explain why, or building any real reasoning around it, other than just accepting, yeah, I just stuffed that up, and being okay with that, because it doesn't really matter. It's not here anymore. There's a new opportunity every day to take a new action and make an improvement. So the process of forgiveness is really powerful in letting ourselves be free from a past that no longer exists, and being able to be free to make new choices in the future. A lot of the times, especially when we're dealing with change and improving our health and our fitness, and in particular when trying to lose weight, a lot of people can reflect on previous failures, if that's what we want to call them, or not being able to achieve it, and feel quite down on themselves. So we can all even start on a new journey of trying to achieve a new goal, but feeling from the onset that we're doomed to fail because we've stuffed it up every other time. So the process of forgiveness and forgiving ourselves frees us from all of that. And we can just let that wash off and go, yeah, it's done. And there's no real explanation, and that's fine. And I can be at peace with myself, let it go, and let go all of that emotion and that energy and that self-talk about what we're saying, because we have stuffed it up in the past. And, I'm a big culprit of this myself. Like, I can be pretty tough on myself, and with business this year, there's things that I didn't get to, and I know there's things that I wanted to achieve that just didn't happen this year. And I've been able to, over the last couple of days of just going through this work myself, just going, do you know what? It's fine. Like, I did my best, and there's an opportunity for next year, tomorrow, next week, and just continually moving towards where I want to go, rather than continually being held back by feeling bad. So what I'd like you to do now is take the time, pause. This may take a bit longer, because sometimes we're even too embarrassed to admit that we stuffed it up. And I really want you to write down 3 areas, 3 events in your life. Maybe it was, that you did really great on a kickstart and you lost 4 kilos, and then a couple of weeks later you just kind of, life happened, and you got stressed, and then you put all that weight back on and some, and all those habits that you knew you should have been doing, well, you just didn't. And it's quite a common experience, but what I want you to do is write those things down and just forgive yourself with them, and just say, hey, I forgive myself for some of those things that didn't quite meet my expectations of what I wanted to achieve. And I let those things go, and I'm free from all of the emotion and feelings and self-talk that I had around not being able to achieve that. And I just free myself for bigger possibilities and opportunities in the future, and just let it go. So get on to that one now. Okay, so now that we have acknowledged what we've achieved and all the wonderful things we've achieved in 2018, we've forgiven ourselves for the things that we didn't quite get to, or that we planned and just stuffed up, and that's okay. We've done those 2 things. Now the 3rd step, which this was the 6th step actually in Brendan Bouchard's training, and that was just taking the time to dream about your possibility for your health, your fitness, your well-being, your healthy mindset, and your healthy relationship with food for 2019. And what I loved about what he said was not to think about your goals and write SMART goals, and we will get to that. But there is this step before that that's just about dreaming and just taking the time in a peaceful place. And if you're there now, just as switch, put me on pause and take the time to dream about a possibility that you don't even think is possible for you. Because the reason why is that when we think about setting goals or think about setting New Year's resolutions, we kind of set these goals and these New Year's resolutions from a place of all of the perceived boundaries that we have about what we think is possible for us and what we are capable of. So within the thinking and the setting goals, we talk about goals being realistic and achievable. And those realistic and achievable goals are always filtered through what we think is possible for us. So they do have some boundaries around them. And when we're setting some short-term goals, yeah, absolutely, we need to make sure that they're achievable so that we don't continuously let ourselves down and experience failure time and time again. However, when we're talking about dreaming of the possibility for 2019, we're kind of washing all of that away. We're silencing all of the things that we have or haven't been able to achieve in the past. And we're just going to, almost in a childlike way, dream of the possibility of what we could be doing in 2019. Now, look, we may or may not achieve that. But when we dream about a possibility, it opens up our minds to think of, well, who do we have to become? What do we need to do? And it kind of opens the mind up for a new possibility. And that's what's so beautiful about dreaming or visualization. But I really love the word dream because we sort of understand dreaming, dreaming up an idea that we don't think is possible for us. So take the time with this one and dream about what sorts of things you could be doing, what sort of experiences, what sort of holidays, what sort of active pursuits, how you could engage with your children, the types of dress or clothing that you'd be wearing, being free from certain physical limitations of pain or, lack of strength or lack of fitness, and, what sorts of things could you be doing? And as I said, I've done this activity and with my business, and in the first couple of minutes it felt quite constrained and it felt like I was just making stuff up. But the more I got deeper into the dreaming and the imagination opening up, and I think that's what it is, it's about releasing your imagination to a new possibility and wondering what it could be. And it's just sort of, as I said, that childlike dreaming of becoming a fireman and or saving the world or whatever it is. But just taking the time to, before we sit down and actually go through and set our New Year's resolutions and our goals, just take the time to dream first, and you will find that your expanded consciousness around your goal setting will change what you actually put down for yourself as a possibility for 2019. And I think that's just amazing. So there are your 3 steps. Acknowledge and be grateful for what you've achieved in 2018. Take the time to forgive yourself for all the things that you feel you stuffed up in terms of health, fitness, weight loss, healthy eating and healthy lifestyle habits. And number 3, take the time to dream your possibilities and write those things down. I hope you enjoy this process as much as I've enjoyed doing it about my business and my goals for 2019, which will directly affect you and what's coming your way in 2019. But I did want to share this with you. Take the time to do this. It really is valuable. And I will be posting another video in time for 2019 where we will be going through and setting those goals for 2019 and how to actually set the goals, but then also how to take some of the actions that once we've set the goals, we can actually take the actions and know what actions to take to actually achieve them. Because it's one thing to know what your goals are and dream up these wonderful goals, but then we need to know what the actual steps are. And just like every year, I run a New Year's resolution, healthy lifestyle and weight loss workshop. And it is coming back in February, in the first weekend of February. If you are interested in me keeping you up to date about this workshop, it's actually a 4-hour intensive workshop where we not only get really clear on your goals for 2019, but I go through and I teach you all of the lifestyle habits in our 12 principles of long-term healthy weight loss, fitness and healthy lifestyles. That is the foundation of our success at Sentience Personal Training. So I will take you through step by step. I will teach you all of the components about what the best exercise is, how to plan out a healthy meal, how to listen to your intuitive instincts for hunger and satiety so that you can lose weight and keep it off in 2019. If you are interested in that workshop, please comment yes in the comments and I will get in touch with you and send some information your way. But for now, enjoy working through the 3 questions. Have a wonderful rest of 2018 and I'll catch up with you soon. Bye for now.